Okay, I know this might sound crazy, but Sonic Mania is 5 years old. That's right, 5 years old already. It feels like just yesterday that people were going crazy at the reveal trailer of the game. Man, what a time to be alive. Wait a second. If Sonic Mania is 5 years old, doesn't that mean... Oh no. So yes, Sonic Mania is 5 years old now. How? Is this what getting old feels like? Because it's a horrible feeling, let me tell you. Back when Sonic Mania was announced, not gonna lie, I really wasn't all that interested in it. My attention is with the other game that got announced alongside Mania. One game which we won't name to lower the mood right now. But let's not go there. Let's stick with Sonic Mania, and boy, what an absolutely fantastic game it is. The hype prior to and even after Mania's release was at an all-time high for many people, resulting in the game selling pretty darn well. With all the good reception, you'd think that I would have played the game as soon as it came out, which I didn't. I eventually played Sonic Mania along with Team Sonic Racing for the first time in 2020, when we were all suffering in the first lockdown. And it wasn't like I thought the game was that good or anything. I watched a bunch of videos on the game, including mod showcases, and thought it looked cool. But when I did actually play the game for myself, I was immediately hooked. I finally understood what all the hype for the game was, and it was truly magnificent. Sonic Mania had something which games before and even after lacked: love and care. Now this in no way is me trying to diss any of the past games or even Frontiers, as I enjoy many of the previous games, and Frontiers is shaping up to be something great. But there's no denying how brilliant Sonic Mania is. But what are those things? What gives Sonic Mania the respect it so rightly has? What makes Sonic Mania Sonic Mania? Well, my comrades, that is what we shall be talking about in today's video. So sit back, grab that Knuckles G Fuel, and let's hop right into this. Sonic Mania is a celebration of everything classic Sonic, referencing things from far and wide throughout the game, from very noticeable things to things only true fans would get. Due to this, Sonic Mania brings back many old zones from old games and revamps them, bringing back the feeling of older times. Now don't get it twisted, Sonic Mania doesn't just rely on nostalgia to interest the player. Of course, it plays a part in the overall experience, but thrown into the mix are a handful of new zones original to Mania, and they are just as, if not better, than the old zones. While Mania is mostly returning zones rather than new ones, what was into the old zones is quite admirable, which starts us off in the gameplay department of Sonic Mania. Looking back at the classic games, it seemed to be a trend that, with each new release, Sonic would get an upgrade to his moveset. Sonic 1 was the beginning, then Sonic 2 added the Spin Dash, CD added the Super Peel Out, 3 and K added the Insta Shield, Sonic 4 added the Homing Attack, and now here we are with Sonic Mania, with one of Sonic's greatest abilities, the Drop Dash. We all know how the Drop Dash works. After jumping, press and hold the jump button again, and Sonic will instantly gain a burst of speed upon touching the ground in ball form. The Drop Dash is such a great addition to Sonic's moveset. It allows you to maintain your speed while blazing through the stages in Mania, even allowing you to get back on the move straight away if you come to a halt. It is just amazing. Apart from the Drop Dash, Sonic as well as Tails and Knuckles control just as well as they did in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And what is even better is that you can actually swap out Sonic's abilities too, so if you prefer to have the Insta Shield or the Super Peel Out, you can have those instead of the Drop Dash. Now, while good control is nice in a game, good level design makes it even better. So let's talk about that. Sonic Mania's level design feels like a mix between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles' approach to level design, with a spice of Mania's very own in there. You've got the speed of 2 mixed with the exploration of 3 and Knuckles. Now don't get me wrong, Sonic 3 and Knuckles did have its moments of speed, but we all know that Sonic 2 was the overall faster game. Most of the time. Mania even takes more elements from 3 and Knuckles, with there being a boss at the end of every stage. While some people prefer the Sonic 2 approach to the act structure, solely due to how creative and fun Mania's bosses are, I really don't mind it. Now, a few seconds ago, I said that Mania's level design has a bit of its own flavour in there, because even though the approaches to its level design are similar to Sonic 2 and 3 and Knuckles, the levels don't feel like I'd see them in those games. There's just something about them that just feel Mania. Now part of that might be from the difficulty. Sonic Mania isn't really a difficult game, it's by far the easiest classic Sonic game. Now obviously, a game being easy doesn't make it bad. far from it, because Mania is just so well designed that even though it is fairly easy, I don't care because of the great level design the game has, which is difficult to say for other games. I think I would go as far to say that Mania is the fastest classic Sonic game yet, even outdoing Sonic 2. Every stage in the game, whether it be Green Hill, Oil Ocean, Metallic Madness, or even Titanic Monarch, have their fair share of speedy sections that just let you rip loose with going fast. But sometimes, I feel that the game relies a bit too much on speed, which is where the game's easiness stems from. This is most evident in Studiopolis, a good zone overall, but I feel like there's a bit too much speed compared to some proper platforming here. This wouldn't really be a problem if maintaining that speed felt rewarding, but it doesn't in my opinion. The speed is kind of just handed out to you, rather than having to make some quick reactions to keep the flow going. To make a comparison with how I'd say maintaining speed is rewarding, let's look at a stage already in Mania, Green Hill. There are plenty of areas in both Act 1 and 2 to go fast, and to the untrained eye, they may seem like they come in short bursts, but in reality, they aren't. When you learn the level design properly, know when to jump at the right times and places, you can blaze through the stage and it feels so satisfying and rewarding to pull off. And when I compare this to Studiopolis, while the speed sections are still exhilarating and fun to go through, I don't feel the same satisfaction as I do in Green Hill for example, due to the speed not being earned, but rather handed out to me. Yes, sometimes you do need the speed to be handed out to you just to remind less experienced players that it is a Sonic game, but when every speed section doesn't require any skill to maintain it, it takes away from the experience for me personally. Apart from that little nitpick of mine however, Mania's level design is flawless. Mania has some sort of structure to the way its level design is put together. One of the acts of the returning zones will usually be a remix of the zone from the original game, reusing level design from all the acts and throwing it all into one, whereas the other act is mostly brand new level design. The bosses actually have a similar thing too, where one of the bosses will be a spin on an old boss, and the other will be a new boss, and it overall blends really nicely with the stages. I'm not gonna lie though, Lava Reef for both acts doesn't seem all that different from the original, so that's mildly disappointing. What is interesting though is that even though a certain zone like Marble Garden isn't in this game, gimmicks from that stage can be found in another zone that is in this game, such as Stardust Speedway, which is littered with Marble Garden gimmicks. This is quite weird when you have a Lava Reef using gimmicks from Metallic Madness, when Metallic Madness is already in the game, but hey, it works well, so I ain't complaining. Now in terms of the new zones in this game, they're all very well put together. The gimmicks here, such as the Ice Block and Press Garden, are really cool. I'm a comedic genius, I know. It is a shame that Mirage Saloon only really has one prop act since Act 1 is a Sky Chase. It is better than Sky Chase from Sonic 2, but still, it's Sky Chase. Sonic 4 Episode 2 did something cool with Sky Chase in my opinion, having to hop off the plane to do some platforming, then back on it again, then the max speed section with it too. Pretty cool stuff there. I must say that the original zones are the highlight of Sonic Mania. Not by a massive margin, but they're definitely really good. Especially Titanic Monarch, which happens to be my favourite classic Sonic zone. I love the level design in it, with the many hidden routes you can take, and the bursts of speed layered throughout. It just feels like the Eggman land of 2D Sonic, and I love it. Now Sonic Mania does pull two more things from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the first of those being the elemental shields. Mania doesn't add any more shields, but there is the new blue ring box, which makes your rings turn into bigger rings when you drop them, allowing you to pick them up much easier. Now the elemental shields in Mania are used brilliantly, a huge step up from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The shields actually affect the environment around you, the best one being the fire shield, where you can burn the wooden bridge things in Green Hill to access new areas, or even get lit in Oil Ocean by setting the oil on fire. It is just genius. The lightning shield also has a nice little gimmick in a flying battery, where it'll actually attract to the electric ceilings, pulling you towards them and accessing new areas. And even in Titanic Monarch, you can get dragged along with the electric currents, another cool gimmick. The fire shield and lightning were implemented really well in Mania's levels, but it seems that the bubble shield got neglected in this game, as nothing is really done with it if I'm remembering correctly. What makes it even worse is I was kind of nerfed from 3 and Knuckles too, since it only has one set height for the bounce, whereas 3 and Knuckles, depending on how long you held the jump button for when bouncing, your height would be based on that, but not in Mania. It really is a shame too with the attention that the fire and lightning shields got. Would have been cool to see what the bubble shields could have done. Now the other thing that Mania takes from 3 and Knuckles is how you access special stages. By finding various big rings in a stage, warp into the special stage. But what Mania doesn't take from 3 and Knuckles is what the special stage is. Well, that is partly true since the 3 and Knuckles special stage is actually in Mania, but not the main special stage. If you have 25 rings I believe, and pass a checkpoint, sparkles will appear above it, and jumping to them will take you to the Blue Sphere minigame, where beating them will give you a medallion that can be used to unlock extras in the game. If I have one nitpick about the Blue Spheres in Mania, it's not necessarily with the stages themselves, it's what you get from them in-game, which is nothing. You'd think that you'd at least get the rings that you collected in the Blue Sphere stage added to your ring count in the game, or even some score bonus, but no, you don't get anything, which does lose a bit of incentive to actually go to the Blue Sphere stages. The bonus stages in Sonic 3 and Knuckles at least give you something by doing them, so it seems we're not getting anything from them in Mania. But let's look at Mania's main special stages now, because they are truly something to behold. To summarize them in a nutshell, they are the best special stage in the history of Sonic. No other official or fan-made special stage will top this. This is where special stages will peak, and I stand by that statement. The concept here is just so brilliant, and it's even better when playing it. What you have to do here is chase a UFO with the Chaos Emerald, while going around a racetrack if you will, until you catch it. On this racetrack, there are many paths to take, each with their own purpose. Some have more rings, others have more blue spheres, and there are even some risky paths you can take with item boxes to snag even more rings and fill that gauge at the top. Now these special stages aren't infinite. There is a timer which is based on your ring count. The more rings you can collect, the longer it will take for the timer to run out. To speed things up a little, you will need to collect the blue spheres to fill the aforementioned gauge at the top of the screen, and once you fill that gauge, you will speed up and can then refill it again to reach full speed. Refilling the gauge after reaching Mach 3 will result in a score bonus of 10,000 points, which is always nice. The controls in these special stages definitely take a bit of getting used to and learning how they work, but once you master them, it is a blast. Some would say a Sonic blast, or even a Sonic 3D blast, since we're in 3D. Hold your applause, thank you, thank you. I really love how the Mania special stages take aspects from all the previous ones. You've got your bouncing around from Sonic 1, you've got the UFO from CD, the rings from Sonic 2, then you got the blue spheres from 3 and Knuckles. It just makes for some perfect special stages. Upon clearing all 7 special stages, you have the ability to transform into Super Sonic when you have 50 rings. But what's more is the secret final boss, Egg Reverie. If you have all the Chaos Emeralds, after beating the boss of Titanic Monarch Act 2, you will be transported to Egg Reverie, where you fight both Eggman and a transformed Heavy King as Super Sonic. This is a pretty fun boss, it's not too difficult. I definitely feel as if they could have done more with it, but I wasn't disappointed with it. I like how you can choose to be in the air or stay on the ground during the fight. Giving you the options is really good here. Now, for the main gameplay in Mania, that is pretty much everything, but once again, like 3 and Knuckles, we do have the option to play as Knuckles and Tails in Mania 2. Tails' story is the same as Sonic, except you don't get to fight Egg Reverie. Same for Knuckles, but in Knuckles' case, he gets some of his own pathways and full-on levels. You remember Sky chasing Mirage Saloon? Well, it is no more in Knuckles' story, and instead gets a stage made for Knuckles specifically, utilising his gliding and climbing heavily. Knuckles even gets a bit of his own story in Lava Reef Act 2, where he goes to the Master Emerald Shrine and stops Heavy King from taking the Master Emerald. Even a neat callback to Sonic 3 and Knuckles 2. And that's pretty much the gameplay for Mania mode. So let's move on to the story, something crucial to make a great Sonic game. Now, 2D Sonic has never really had a massive emphasis on story, but there were clear events that started in Sonic CD going forward, and especially in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Now for Mania, nothing really happens. There are stage transitions which show something, but apart from that, there isn't really much here. The only really significant thing which happens is a secret ending, where after beating Egg Reverie, Sonic gets sent through a portal to you know where. It really is a shame that Mania's story just felt like a tie into that which shall not be named, as 3 and Knuckles had a great story, and it is one of the things that Mania does worse than it. But I finally think we're done with the gameplay, so let's move on to Mania's presentation. By waiting a little bit on the title screen, you'll be presented by the beautifully animated intro to Sonic Mania, done by the man that saved the Sonic movies, Tyson Hesse. This was the first time Tyson ever did work for the Sonic series, and man, it is just beautiful. I especially love how the animation goes in time with the music. Tyson's style is just really good. Reminds me a lot of CD's animation, and it is just a wonder to watch. The ending cutscene of the game does look nice too, but the opening is a lot more pleasing to the eye. Even the art on the box art looks exceptional. Finally, some more 2D art on a Sonic cover again. How long has it been since Sonic Rush Adventure back in 2007? Really? 10 years? Moving on from the animated cutscenes is the gorgeous sprite work. Thanks to modern technology, Mania's sprite work has been turned up a notch since the days on the Genesis. Even though a lot of zones have been brought back for the game, the way they look is nowhere near the same. They look so much better and detailed. Just look at Green Hill and compare it to the original. It looks so much more detailed and it's just beautiful. What stands out the most here are the new zones, especially Press Garden Act 2. I mean, Just look at it. It's eye candy. All the different colours and environments are just superb and just make for a visually beautiful game. Who cares if it's sprite based? It's still damn good looking. But it goes even further than that. Even the animations are smoother than the original games. A lot of the animations have been taken from the original games, but they've been improved, given more frames to make them flow better into each other. Whether it's the idle animations, the flying animations, or even the running animations, it's all so smooth. It's like playing Unleash at 30 FPS, they're going straight to 60 FPS, buttery smooth. If I did find something a bit off though, it would be Knuckles' colour. He looks more pink than red. Maybe it's just me, but it is still a bit off there. Now the amazing sprite work doesn't just stop with the gameplay, oh no. It goes even further to the menus in the game, and they look just as great too. It's as if they translated the style of the Japanese Sonic box arts into sprites, and looks really nice with the menus. All the moving shapes really make these menus feel alive and have a personality. Even that title screen has brilliant animation. This game, man, this is brilliant, man, I swear down. Now within these menus, you actually have some more things to check out. If you head over to the video settings, you can actually change the video filter to other lines on the screen, just like the old TVs back in the 90s. It really is the little things that count. And wait a minute, are the clean and no filters actually different? Wait, clean looks more blurry than the no filter. That's why my Mania gameplay looks blurry, because I had the clean filter on this whole time. Oh, who thought having the clean filter was a good idea? This is a sprite-based game. Why would I want to blur the pixels? That is just stupid, man. Apart from the settings, there's also a competition mode where you can do some good old multiplayer, and there's also a time attack where you can go through any act on its own and try to get a good time. Then the extras menu is where you can play the Blue Sphere and also the Mean Bean Machine mode, once you collect enough medallions for the Blue Sphere stages, which I haven't actually done yet, so yeah. Right then. It's time to talk about the final aspect of Sonic Mania, which makes it truly brilliant, and that is the music. Music is a key element to make not just a Sonic game immersive, but any game immersive, and when it's done right, it really is a cherry on top of the whole experience, and I'm happy to say that Mania doesn't let you down there at all. As if you didn't know that already. Can we all just give a massive round of applause for the legend himself, Tia Lopez, for carrying the soundtrack? Like, holy moly! These remixes and original tracks are just brilliant. This man turned Chemical Plant and Green Hill into even more bangers than they already were. And just listen to Stardust Speedway, man. And the saxophone in Metallic Madness is godly. And we haven't even touched upon the original tracks for the game. Studiopolis is a certified classic. Egg Reverie is a banger. And even the menu music is flipping amazing. Did I mention that Hyper Potions also worked on this soundtrack? Because they did. They mostly did the trailer music and also the main theme of Mania, Friends. And yep, you guessed it, they're all bangers. obviously, Mania soundtrack is really good, without a doubt one of the best in the series, but, and there's always a but, I do have a minor gripe with the soundtrack. I'm not a fan of the one trumpet that gets used in pretty much every song. It's not bad on its own, but when it gets used in many different songs, it can lead to a lot of the songs sounding kinda samey. And that is everything about Mania that we've talked about. But we have one final part of the game to talk about. Sonic Mania was a huge success both financially and critically. We know that, so what better way to capitalize on that? That's right, release some DLC for the game, which is what Sega did in July of 2018. Sonic Mania Plus, adding a new encore mode to the game, with Mighty and Ray playable, recolored stages, 2 new stages, minor level design tweaks, new special stages, and a slightly different story. Let's talk about Mighty and Ray first. Ray has the ability to glide through the air, similar to Cape Mario. It's actually really fun to use, to just fly over stages through the air, and even to get a bit more height in a jump. Mighty, on the other hand, has the ability to stomp downwards and is also invincible to spikes when jumping. Mighty isn't all that fun since his stomp loses all his momentum, so using him, Ray just slows down the pace of the game, which isn't what you want in a Sonic game really. Moving on to the stage recolors, some of them look pretty nice, such as the sunset in Green Hill or whichever time of day is in Studiopolis, but then we look at Metallic Madness and what the hell happened here? Who thought it was okay to crap all over Metallic Madness? Like, I know it's a CD stage and CD is garbage, but still. But it doesn't stop here. Looking at Titanic Monarch, what is this, man? This looks atrocious. I feel like I'm having a seizure looking at this. Green and pink do not look nice together, my god. On the topic of these stages, let's discuss the minor level design tweaks. They are what they say they are, minor level design tweaks. They really aren't that interesting for the most part. It's just some object changes, but they don't really improve the levels all that much. Most of the time, the new changes are just an annoyance, adding unnecessary platforms or spikes everywhere, and slowing down the game even more, which is painful with the new way lives work. Lives aren't here in Encore mode. Instead, you have the 5 characters at your disposal, and when one of them dies, you lose that character and move on to the next. You could use 2 characters at a time, and can even switch between them, and there are certain item boxes which switch out your characters too. This is a decent gimmick. Nothing groundbreaking, but still a neat way to play. All the special stages are actually different in this mode too. The main special stages are new layouts, and man, they're difficult. I can't even get past the second one, like, these are no joke. They even changed the blue sphere to some sort of pinball stage, and guess what? You can actually get items here now, such as shields, rings, and even more characters. See, this is how you do a bonus stage properly. In terms of the story for Encore mode, it really isn't all that different apart from the beginning and end. A bit disappointing, but I don't see how they could have changed it all that much. As a whole, Mania Plus is definitely interesting, but doesn't change a whole lot, except for some stages. Angel Island is now in Encore mode, but it is the most underwhelming stage in the game. For starters, it's only 1 act. We don't even get the second act, and not only that, it lasts for about 30 seconds, like, come on! If we're gonna have 1 act, at least make it a decent length, and furthermore, the level design is straight up ripped from the original. The only changes that they actually make is removing parts of the level, which is ridiculous. The other new stage is Mirage Saloon Act 1, removing Sky Chase again. Wow, it's as if Sky Chase sucks or something. This stage is actually different from the Knuckles version, so that's a plus point. But now, we're officially done with everything about this game. Sonic Mania is just one magnificent game, filled with nostalgia. But the game is much more than just nostalgia. You've got all the love and care in the game with both old and new things, and it is awesome. Sonic Mania is not perfect. There are some things that would change here and there, but as it is right now, in my opinion, it is the best 2D Sonic experience you can get, and one of the greatest games in the series. All the elements of the game put together really make for one exceptionally brilliant game. Anyways, that about does it for today's video. Sonic Mania is the game that brought Sonic back into a good light again, after many years of failure with many terrible decisions by Sega. But the best thing about Mania isn't the game itself, it's what the game started. After Mania, people like Tyson Hess, T. Lopez, Hyper Potions, and the devs behind the game continued to work with the franchise, producing many things, like the animations we got, like Mania Adventures, TSR Overdrive, Colors Rise of the Wisps, and now the Frontiers Prologue. But probably the most substantial things, Tyson Hess saving the Sonic movies by redesigning Sonic, then was getting Sonic Origins. All this stemmed from this one game, and in my opinion, is the best thing that Mania ever could do. But what do you guys think of Sonic Mania as a whole? Do you enjoy the game, or don't you? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become Unleashed, pressing the join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!